It began in silence, not the kind that soothes, but the kind that suffocates. The kind of silence you keep when you're terrified that if anyone knew, they'd never look at you the same again. Her name was Marissa Grace Holloway. She lived in a quiet suburb, had a golden retriever named Jasper, taught third grade, and brought casseroles to neighbors when they were sick. From the outside, she was the kind of woman people admired, gentle, dependable, full of faith. But inside, she carried a secret, one that turned every mirror into a courtroom, one that made communion feel like trespassing, one that no sermon ever seemed to cover unless it was followed by a verse that sounded like a stone. 32 years ago. She was 20, sophomore year. Full scholarship, Sunday school volunteer, the kind of girl that wore a silver purity ring and didn't drink soda on Sundays. Until the two pink lines. And the boy, gone by the time the test dried. Fear was immediate. Shame showed up second. And after 2 weeks of unanswered prayers and unread journal pages, she made the call. The clinic had plastic chairs and soft music playing through the walls. The nurse asked if she was sure. Marissa nodded, numb. Afterward, a different nurse, an older woman with kind eyes, held her hand and whispered, "You don't have to carry this forever, honey." But Marissa didn't believe her. She left that building with one less heartbeat inside her and 1,000 more pounding in her head. In the years after, she buried the memory beneath ministry. She led Bible studies. She taught Sunday school. She married a kind man named Robert, who never asked about her past. She had 2 children, and every time she held them, she wondered what the other child might have been like, what they'd look like, if they had the same laugh as her daughter, or the same stubborn eyebrows as her son. But she never spoke it out loud, not once, because even when she told herself God forgives, she was sure that if she ever said it out loud, he'd leave. Now, Marissa had just folded the last load of laundry. Her daughter's college hoodie, her son's baseball jersey, and a tiny blue sock. She froze. It wasn't theirs. It was from 20 years ago. A baby shower gift from a friend. She had kept it for some reason, tucked deep in an old drawer, forgotten. Until now. The sock felt heavier than it should have, like it carried a weight it never asked for. Marissa sat down on the bathroom floor. Not gently, she sank, like something inside her gave way. Her hands trembled, and then she finally said the words, "Jesus, I had an abortion." Her breath hitched. I hated myself for it. I still do. I didn't think you could love someone who made that choice. The silence after that sentence felt infinite until it didn't. She didn't see him. She felt him. Not in her imagination, not in some vague spiritual sense. It was him. Like the weight of the air shifted, like the walls leaned in, like heaven stooped down and sat cross-legged beside her on the tile. No lightning, no thunder, just peace. Thick, unmistakable. And then a whisper in her spirit that sounded like it had waited 32 years to be heard. I was there that day, not to judge you, to hold you. You couldn't see me, but I never moved. I never left. I saw your tears. I heard your silence. I caught every prayer you were too ashamed to pray. I didn't wait 32 years to punish you. I waited for this moment so I could tell you, you are forgiven, I still love you, and I never stopped loving you. And something happened in that moment that no altar call ever gave her. Freedom. Not theoretical forgiveness, not vague theology, but personal redemption. Like someone finally unlocked a prison door in her chest. She wept, not from the shame, but from the shock of mercy. Tears ran down her face and into her lap, and the name of Jesus kept coming out, softer and softer. Jesus, Jesus, Jesus. As dusk settled outside the window, she rose to her feet, took one of the decorative candles from the sink, and lit it, not in mourning, but in remembrance. And that even when she was silent, even when she was ashamed, even when she thought she had ruined everything, Jesus had never stopped speaking love. And now she could finally hear it. Because, friends, if you've been holding on to something for years, if your shame has been louder than His mercy, if you've believed the lie that you're too far gone, Jesus is still waiting. Not with a lecture, and not with a scowl, but with the one sentence He's been longing to say to you. I forgive you. I love you. And it's time you forgave yourself too. God bless you, my friends.